Have you ever felt like you're playing a game, but you don't actually know any of the rules? Well, that's what managing money can feel like for a lot of us. But what if I told you that you can learn the rule book, you can take control, and you can actually start winning? Let's dive in and figure out how money really works.
I mean, it's a wild thought, isn't it? We spend years and years in school learning to solve for X, but nobody ever teaches us how to solve for rent, or how to tackle credit card debt, or what to do when an emergency just completely wipes out your bank account.
And here's something I really want you to hear. If you feel behind, or maybe just overwhelmed by your finances, it is not your fault. The system just never really gave you the tools. You were taught how to go out and earn a paycheck, not how to make that paycheck work for you. So consider this your official wake-up call, because once you understand how this all actually works, everything starts to shift. You go from just surviving month to month to actually building a real future.
Okay, so how do we make that leap from surviving to building? Well, it all kicks off with this first big idea: financial literacy. And look, this isn't about becoming some kind of Wall Street expert overnight. It's about gaining the power to make smart choices for yourself.
Let's keep it super simple. Financial literacy is just having the skills to understand how to earn, manage, grow, and protect your money. It's really the difference between your money controlling you and you controlling your money.
Think of it like this. Trying to handle your money without understanding it is like trying to play chess, only you're blindfolded. You're just moving pieces around hoping for the best. But once you get your hands on that rule book, oh, it's a completely different game.
And this right here, this is a huge mindset shift. I've seen people who make six figures who are literally drowning in debt, and I've seen people on really modest incomes who have a rock-solid financial life. It's not about the size of the paycheck. It's all about your habits.
So if it all comes down to what you do with your money, let's get practical. It's time to talk about mastering your money flow, and that starts with budgeting and earning. You know that feeling when you get to the end of the month and you're just like, where did it all go? That's what happens when you don't have a plan. See, a budget isn't about restriction, it's about power. It's you telling every single dollar you have exactly where it needs to go.
And you don't need some crazy complicated spreadsheet to get started either. One of the simplest, most effective ways to begin is with the 50-30-20 rule. It's just a really simple guide to get you on the right track. Here's how it breaks down. 50% of your income goes to your needs. You know, things like housing, bills, groceries. Then 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff. And that last 20%, that's the crucial part. That goes to your future self for building up savings and knocking down debt.
Now, budgeting is one side of the coin, but earning is the other. Most of us are stuck in what's called active income. We trade our time for money, but there's a limit to that, right? There are only so many hours in a day. The real key to building wealth is passive income, money that makes money for you even when you're sleeping. And get this, the average millionaire has 7 different streams of income. 7! Now, don't get overwhelmed. You don't need 7 by tomorrow. You just need to focus on building one more stream than you have right now. All right, let's talk about a word that makes most people just a little bit uncomfortable: debt. But here's the thing, debt isn't automatically evil. It's a tool, and just like any tool, you can use it to build something amazing, or you can use it to tear everything down.
So what's the difference? Well, good debt helps you buy things that grow in value over time, an asset, like a house. Bad debt, well, that's for stuff that loses value, like using a high-interest credit card for a shopping spree. That's the stuff that quietly destroys your financial progress.
So if you're dealing with bad debt, you need a battle plan. The snowball method is all about psychology. You pay off the smallest debts first to get those quick wins and build momentum. The avalanche method is pure math. You tackle the highest interest rates first to save the most money. They both work, you just have to pick the one you'll actually stick with.
Once you have a plan for your debt, you can really focus on our final foundation, the habit of saving. And this isn't about just hoping there's some money left over at the end of the month. This is about building a proactive system.
If you only remember one thing from all this, please let it be this: pay yourself first. Before you pay rent, before you pay for subscriptions, before anyone else gets a penny, you set money aside for your future. You pay yourself. Set it up on autopilot and make it completely non-negotiable. But maybe you're thinking, I can't save that much. Okay, I get it. But what about $10? Just $10 a day. That's less than a fancy coffee and a snack. Let's just see what that tiny little action can turn into. Over 10 years, that simple habit of tucking away just $10 a day adds up to over
$1,000. And that's before you even factor in the magic of compound interest. It's proof that small, consistent habits create massive results. And you know, this is about so much more than a number in an account. When you have savings, you stop making decisions out of desperation. It gives you the power to say yes to a great opportunity, or to finally walk away from a job you hate. That money, it buys you freedom.
Okay, look, information without action is just entertainment. So please don't let this feeling fade away. Start small, but start right now. Create a simple 50-30-20 plan. Just track what you spend for 1 week to see where it's going, or even just automate one single dollar into a savings account. The amount doesn't matter, just start the habit.
Because in the end, that's what this is all about. It's not about just piling up a bunch of cash. It's about building a life where you are in control, where your choices aren't dictated by your bank account. Every smart decision you make today, no matter how small, gets you one step closer to that freedom. The only real question left is, what's your next step going to be?